And Eve Echoes Radio is now live. Let's get into the news for this week because this is Eve Echoes Radio News. I'm Frankie, and for the last couple of minutes we had a little bit of radio silence. Sorry about that. But today we're going to be touching on the massive vote about how gates should be protected, as well as a good-sized fight between SSH and the NORF, the North Coalition. But first, a little bit of smaller community news. A botnet, and yes, that's right, a botnet, raided a bunch of Eve Echoes related servers yesterday, with bots posing as SSH members, flaunting their victories and calling out or pinging every possible staff member and Alliance CEO on the server. Our highlights saw Sovereign RPG asked for comment on if he was a pickle sniffer. That was pretty funny. This week has also been a fun insight into the processes of NetEase, with employees named N.E. Nero Augustus diving into the frothy mess of the official Discord for an unofficial AMA. They answered questions about all sorts of things. Apparently, there are 7 new mods slated for potential release in November. They also mentioned getting a better drop amounts for drones, fixing tips on delivery mechanics, and polishing up the contract system itself. It also gave a good look into NetEase's manpower dilemma, with multiple statements from them saying that they don't have enough people, or that the major and disparate parts of the game, like contract over here and skill systems over there, are being managed by a single programmer. If I were you and I was a programmer, I would go to NetEase, I would apply. I mean, everyone's working from home. There's no reason you can't either, even though they're based in another country that you might not be in. Now, I'm going to play our first song by Neil Sick, and I'm going to try to fix the audio issue that I know you're all griping about right now. It's only coming through the right channel. So, we're going to try to get that fixed for you. And we're going to play our first song, which is The Starting Line by Neil Sick.
This is the story of a girl. 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 This is how we do.
Line.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. This is EveEchoesRadio.com, Eve Echoes Radio News. And I got a question. When everything burns down around you, when everything falls apart, the only question left is, what do you do next? When the Beta Corporation Blackheart fell days before the launch, a core group of their members decided to take fate into their own hands and formed a new corporation. The Remnants, with a capital R, formed an official corporation on day 1, cleared their debt by day 5, and a month later are 80-plus members, active and contributing. They are a null-set corporation and part of the Guardians Alliance, with members spread across all time zones and a focus that is evenly split between industry and combat. So if you're a veteran of EVE Online, a beta player still cast adrift in this strange new galaxy, or just a fresh new player looking for a place to be, then message Chrystair pound 4759 on Discord. That's Chrystair spelled CHRYSTAIR, then the number sign 4759. Get a hold of them on Discord. The Remnants hope to see you soon. When the world crashes down around you, all that's left is the remnant. You are listening to EveEchoesRadio.com. SSH has come into conflict with the NORF Alliance. We have reports of a frigate fleet suiciding on a fully equipped Silent Alliance fleet. In fact, there's video footage of this on YouTube with tens of Condor 2s being cut down as they landed on a gate. While we couldn't confirm official numbers of losses on either side, SSH is pushing the narrative that they have made a massive win in this burgeoning new conflict between a few of the northern regional powers. At the same time, these conflicts and battles are heating up across New Eden. Corporations and alliances are finding their footing as everyone prepares for the initial scramble for Sovereign. Down in the south, we had reporters on grid for a battle between ELSM and GEN, as that war was staying a dull roar in terms of conflict. ELSM rolled into GEN's home system with a fleet of 60-plus and the intention of wrecking the system. However, Gen fielded a strong army of nearly 100 pilots to rebuff the advances of the defense fleet. Losses were minimal on Gen's side, and they quickly wrapped up the fight. We will try to keep all our listeners updated on all these topics in the future. These battles are all unfolding all across New Eden, and they're still new. New Eden really is new right now. And we'll actually pause on a topic here. Eve Echoes Radio is offering a bounty. That is right, a news bounty for information on any stories that end up being relevant and covered on the radio. And we will offer up to 10 million ISK per news story for pertinent information that actually helps us get better information of New Eden to all of you that is unbiased and neutral. We need both sides of everything. Please check out the news bounty. We'll be talking about that a little bit more in a little bit, but here's the next song for the night. And this is a really good song. This is by a band that I adore a lot. I've probably played them on the station before, and they're called Spangle. And this song is just one of the coolest ones. It's called Dorset Perception. Alright, everybody, welcome back to Eve Echoes Radio. This is Frankie, DJ Frankie, MC Frankie, whatever. Frankie for Jersey, South Jersey, not North Jersey. Not one of them guys. So, we would like to talk about our featured content creator. This is the featured content creator of today's broadcast and has been featured before and will be featured again. So, there are a fair number of Eve Echoes news broadcasters now, with a fair few covering similar topics as us at EER News do. Not that that's a bad thing. More people touching on a topic means that we can hit more important topics from multiple angles. But our featured content creator today is Daemonxel, or Daemonxel, 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 over at Echoes from the Front. He has a straightforward weekly show called Echoes from the Front that breaks down major events from over the previous week. It airs every Monday to provide the community with a good look at what they may have missed in the massive galaxy of New Eden. Go check them out on YouTube. Definitely go check them out. And do you have a cool story about your experiences in the game? Do you know something interesting? Maybe do you know some interesting ops hiding under people's noses or massive fleet battles that have gone completely unreported? Do you want to get some easy ISK for a bit of information and an interview? As mentioned earlier, just contact us at EER News, EveEchoesRadio.com, EER News, and see if your story is worth a news bounty of up to 10 million ISK. Contact Eve Echoes Radio at gmail.com or DM us on Discord. You are now listening to Eve Echoes Radio. And now for something completely different. If you put the effort in, your voice will not go unheard. We have heard from a lot of the community over the last week about autopilot, the game difficulty, and how people view different facets of the game. From those that enjoy the feel of PvP, all PvP, to those that prefer to sit and build ships for those out fighting, and those sitting there mining. We here at Eve Echoes Radio News think that New Eden has a space for everybody. I really do. The developers seem to agree, too. Earlier today, they accidentally pushed information to our content creators, which we are officially now a content creator, with a plea to share and make videos on the topic. If you haven't heard the details yet, honestly, I'm not sure where you've been, living under a rock. I don't know, but this has been all over the place. Apparently, there will be a vote tomorrow on the official Eve Echoes Discord that will radically alter how this game is played and whether this game actually is a success or not, honestly. This vote will have 3 options, and we here at EER fully recommend that you get out there and vote for the Echoes you want in the future. And to give you the most information we possibly can, we have scoured the Evaverse, and we are going to explain all three options, starting with the first option. I'm going to start with the third. No, I'm kidding. The first option. The first option of the Great Echoes vote is to retain the current setup exactly as it is right now. Low sec is dangerous. You can get gate camped. Null sec is even more dangerous. You can get gate camped and turreted by citadels and stuff. This is just part of the game. This is what the design was meant to be from the start, technically. If you like your unrestricted PvP, gate camps, etc., this is the option you want to choose, because this is the option to just leave everything as it is, basically as a clone of EO in a way. The second option of the Grand Echoes vote is to buff the heck out of low-sec gate guns. This will make it so that even battleships will be taken out in at least 5 shots. This wouldn't stop gate camping entirely, but it would alter it completely, and it would make it so gate campers have to be far more selective when shooting people, and they will actually have the ability to be selective of shooting people. After all, not every target is worth hitting when it's going to cost you your ship, especially with the amount of targets going through certain gates. There's a strange addendum of some sort of anti-warp addition to Stargates in the second option, but I have no clue what that actually means in practice. Like I said, this was not actually meant to go out to the community, but it did go out, and so now we're dealing with talking about it. So would it stop people like a bubble? Would it be targetable? Would it be anti-warp on our side as a gate jumper, or on their side as a gatekeeper? What purpose would it really make? And that's really not easy to say. And finally, I'd like to talk about the third option. And this is all about doing a comprehensive security upgrade for the whole game. Low-sec gets more guns, maybe buffs, but more importantly, the areas around the Stargates and all security areas will become safe zones. We assume that means you won't even be able to lock people, let alone shoot them, even in nullsec, which, in this radio caster's own opinion, is a little ridiculous, because nullsec is supposed to have no security. I think low-sec should be a little bit protected. I think high-sec should be safe. Low-sec should be a bit protected, and null-sec should not have any safe zones. There shouldn't be any. It just doesn't make sense to me. All at the same time, it talks about adding gate guns to null, but ran by the Sovereign Holding Alliance, which hasn't even been set up yet, the Sovereign system. So the group that holds that system will be able to tell the guns who to shoot, and that's equally interesting and terrifying and in same amounts. Will the game be nothing but gate guns at every null system in the future if we choose this option? That's possible. That is actually possible. However, we have no idea how this will actually operate, as NetEase hasn't offered further comments or clarifications to the public or content creators, and have given even less actual numbers on how all of this might actually work. And with the vote coming up tomorrow, we really need more information. Vote with your conscience, but definitely vote. We here at EER are somewhat split on the matter, like I was just saying. I got my own opinions, but because there's not any information on how these changes will be pushed, we just can't support option 3 totally, because we don't have clarification. And we're going to go into our second to last song right now. This is a Neil Six song, like I was saying, and the title of this song from Mouth Moods is Tiger, and you'll see why.
Rising up, back on the street, did my time, took my chances, went the distance, now I'm back on my feet, just a man and his tiger. So many tigers, it happens to tigers, you trade your passion for glory.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Eve Echoes Radio. This is Frankie coming at you live right now on this beautiful Friday night. And, hey, we thought we'd let you know that this section of the broadcast is open for corporations interested in advertising with us. The current rate for this slot is 30 million ISK per broadcast. Not bad. 45 million if you want us to come up with it and read the ad for you. That is chump change. Just contact Dejers #7425 on Discord. Dejers, DEJERS #7425 on Discord, or email us at eveechoesradio@gmail.com for more business opportunities. Now, let's get back to news. You're listening to Eve Echoes Radio. EveEchoesRadio.com. Alright, so we got a little bit of market news to cover. There are more blueprints of level 2 rigs and similar high-end products are hitting the markets right now at ridiculous prices. I'm talking around 80 million or more ISK. These are firmly establishing a middle market between the billion-plus price tags of the Tech 7 faction ships and the low end of everything else. At the same time, we've kept an eye on planetary resources. It hasn't quite skyrocketed, but there have been increases of 5 to 10% or so on PI involved in Tech 7 ship production itself. It's a good place to jump on for those watching the market. And now a little bit about Plex. With the hit of Tech 7, Plex has tumbled to 166k, which isn't really tumbling that much, but mass groups of people have dumped their Plex for ridiculous prices. For the ridiculous prices of new battleships and faction cruisers, meaning now is an amazing time to pick up a chunk of Plex, even at that price. It'll get you returns pretty fast, because we're predicting it'll ceiling at 200k or higher. We're expecting the next real uptick in Plex prices to be around 2.5 weeks from now, when the next batch of Omega begins to run out. Remember, this is the best day to buy Plex, but really, the best day to ever buy Plex was at launch. But to buy it now, snap it up. Just snap it up, because you gotta get it. This next song is our first ever dedicated song. We do song dedications. We do throwdowns. We do everything that a market radio station would do. And this is a dedicated song, dedicated by an anonymous Genesis Federation pilot to the sad runaways that constituted the ELSM fleet that attacked earlier today. Let us mourn.
I flew a ship into space. Don't ask me, it's not a race. I love the way that you wind, and now you're in my way. I trade my soul to be blue, to fly there right next to you. I wasn't looking for this, but now you're in my way. Your maelstrom's warping, scattered legs were running, flopping, yet no gunning. Where you think you're going, baby? Hey, I just undocked, and this is crazy, but here's our fleet comp, so fight us, maybe. It's hard to be brave when you're gnarly, but here's our fleet comp, so fight us, maybe. Hey, I just undocked, and this is crazy, but here's our fleet comp, so fight us, maybe. And all your other friends try to haze me, but here's our fleet comp, so fight us, maybe. You took your time with the call, I took no time in my go. You gave me nothing at all, but still you're in my way. I beg and sorrow the most, go to forums and post. I didn't know I would mind it, but it's in my way. Your Drake was warping, scattered legs were running, flopping, yet no gunning. Where you think you're going, baby? Hey, I was just undocked, and this is crazy, but here's our fleet comp, so fight us, baby. It's hard to be brave when you're gnarly, but here's our fleet comp, so fight us, baby. Hey, I just undocked, and this is crazy, but here's our fleet fleet comp. So fight us, baby. Hey, I just undocked, and this is crazy. But here's our fleet comp. So fight us, baby, and all your other friends try to haze me. But here's our fleet comp. So fight us, baby. Before you came into my life, I was so misled. I was so misled. I was so misled. Before you came into my life, I was so misled, and you should know that. So fight us, baby.
Wasn't that adorable? Once again, that's our first song dedication throwdown from Jen to ELSM. All right, guys. So let's talk about New Eden. New Eden can be a dangerous place. Nobody knows that better than the Guns for Hire corps that make up the Mercenary Coalition Alliance. It's about the people beside you. That is their motto. Whether that means that the people in their fleet or the people they've closed in on as a fleet. They have strong community focus, and the core of that focus is an aim to always be fighting for something or somebody. And with some of the most experienced FCs and fleets and Echoes, the MC Alliance is primely situated to be the shock troops of your battlefield. Whether that's for or against you depends on the ISK in your wallet. For more information on getting them to fight on your side of the war, reach out to the tag AARP Promised 1 pound 9631. That's tag AARP Promised 1 pound 9631 on Discord. And for any diplomatic negotiations, reach out to hurt-maim MAIM-kill pound 9044. That's hurt-maim spelled MAIM-kill pound 9044. So, if you'd like more news updates on topics that we might not have covered yet, then we have a few YouTube channels that we'd like to point you to. ENN is Eve Echoes Network, and that's run by Sovereign RPG. It covers breaking news in fast and unscheduled bursts. Good to keep an eye on. And then there's EFTF. That's Echoes from the Front, run by Daemonxel. Daemonxel. You know how to say your name. They air every Monday with a weekly news roundup that takes a deep dive into the highlights of the previous week. So that's Echoes from the Front, run by Daemonxel. We're going to see you guys next broadcast, and this is our last song of the evening. This is another Neil Cicerega song called Stand By Meme. Good night, guys.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me, cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me, saying get that together, come back and see me. 3 days since the living room, I realized it's all my fault but couldn't tell you. Yesterday you'd forgiven me, but it'll still be 2 days till I say I'm sorry.
Hold it now, I want a hoodwink. Does it make you stop think? You'll think you're looking at Aquaman. I summon fish to the dish, although I like the chalet Swiss, I like the sushi cause it's never touched a frying pan. Hot like wasabi when I bust rhymes, big like Leanne rhymes, because I'm all about value. Bert Camper's got the mad hits, you try to match wits, you try to hold me but I bust through. Gonna make a break and take a bake out like a stinking ink and shake out like vanilla. It's the finest of the flavors. Gonna see the jokers and you know the vertigo is gonna go cause it's so dangerous you'll have to sign a waiver. Can't I help it if I think you're funny when you're mad? Trying hard not to smile though I feel bad. I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve. I have a history of taking off my shirt.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me, threw your arms in the air and said you're crazy. 5 days since you tackled me, I still got the rug burns on both my knees. It's been 3 days since the afternoon, you realize it's not my fault, not a moment too soon. Yesterday you'd forgiven me, and now I'll sit back and wait till you say you're sorry.
China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking. Watching X-Files with no lights on, with all our maze on. I hope the smoking man's in this one like Harrison Ford. I'm getting frantic, like Stingham Tantric, like Snickers guaranteed to satisfy. Like Kurosawa, I make mad films. Okay, I don't make films, but if I did, they'd have a samurai. line. Gonna get a set of better cuts in mind, the kind of tiny numbers, so my arms aren't always flying off the backswing. Gonna get into my Sailor Moon, cause the cartoonist got the boom anime days that make me think the wrong thing. How can I help it if I think you're funny when you're mad? Trying hard not to smile, though I feel bad. I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve. I have a history of losing my shirt.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me, dropped your arms to the sides and said I'm sorry. 5 days since I laughed at you and said you just did just what I thought you were gonna do. 3 days since the living room, we realized we're both to blame, but what could we do? Yesterday, you just smiled at me, cause it'll still be 2 days till we say we're sorry. It'll still be 2 days till we say we're sorry. It'll still be 2 days till we say we're sorry. Birchmount Stadium, home of the Robbie.